Wow, that was breathless. That was nuts. 26-20, the Eagles trailing the Arizona Cardinals out in the desert. Ray Dittinger, Michael Barkan, as we welcome you to Nissan in-game live. Raymondo, I don't know where you want to go. I think the first thing is the makeshift line, the 13th different combination in 14 games. They end up blocking pretty darn good for Jalen Hurts, give up just one sack. And when you look at the totals for Sanders and Rager, well, Rager did not carry the ball but one time. But what do you think of that first half, Ray?
Well, the offense has done very well. When you consider that they were down 16-0, and it looked like they were going to get run out of the stadium, the fact that they've fought back now to cut this lead to just 6 points, that's pretty good. Sanders has 12 carries already by my count. So he's probably, looks like he's
12 for 37.
Yeah, it looks like he's on his way to, it's going to be his busiest day of the year so far, and it should be, because I think that is the way to attack the Cardinals. The problem doesn't lie with the Eagles offense. The problem lies with the Eagles defense. They can't stop the Cardinals. I mean, every time, the only thing that stopped the Cardinals so far are themselves, or their turnovers, the 2 turnovers in the first half. Otherwise, the Cardinals have either scored touchdowns or scored field goals on all their possessions. I mean, they've turned the ball over twice, once in the red zone when they were ready to go in for a touchdown. So they've turned the ball over 2 times, once in the red zone, and they've still scored 26 points in the first half. So it's telling you that they can pretty much do whatever they want to do offensively. I'm sure in their locker room right now, Cliff Kingsbury, the coach, is just saying, fellas, if we just hold on to the ball, we win this game easy. We're just letting this team hang around by making mistakes. But that's kind of what we expected, given the state of the Eagles' defense right now, given how beat up their secondary is. It's not really a fair fight, these Cardinal receivers against the secondary. But the defensive line is playing pretty good. I mean, they've stopped the run pretty well, and they're getting some pressure on Murray. But the Eagles' offense has, and Hurts has played very well. He's had 3 touchdown passes in the first half.
It's insane what Jalen Hurts has done when you think about it. I mean, he is 12 of 18 for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns, Ray, and he's on pace for well over 300 yards. His passer rating is 138.2.
Yeah, no, he's having a really good half. I mean, the only mistake he made was the one he made right at the beginning when he intentionally grounded the ball out of his own end zone and gave him a safety. His instincts are, I'm in trouble, I got to throw the ball away, but he kind of lost track of where he was on the field. You ground the ball from your own end zone, it's going to be a safety.
Yeah.
So
that's gotten sacked there anyway, likely, you think, or no? He was in the end zone.
He was definitely in trouble, and so he's trying to get rid of the ball. But from that spot, you're going to get a safety. But he's other than that, he's played very well. He's and one of the things that you're seeing is that there's for the first time now all year, really, you can see that Rager is developing a little bit of a rhythm as a quarterback. When earlier in the year, when he was a young, inexperienced guy and working with Wentz, those 2 guys never seemed in sync. I mean, it was a play here, a play there. But you can see that, I guess because Hurts and Rager have worked together on the second team, they kind of have a feel for each other now. And, when Hurts is in trouble, he'll look around for Rager and he'll find him. And so it seems like the guys that he has the best rapport with are Rager and obviously Ward, 2 touchdown passes to Ward. But once again, I mean, Jalen Hurts has played very, very well to this point.
Yeah, when we were talking about the defense, and as you said, to be fair, you've got the starting front 4, and then after that, the linebackers have not been, let's face it, they haven't been anything really to write home about all season, and then you've got your secondary injured big time, and you're going with guys, your 4 corners are basically new, not Robbie Coleman certainly, but they've got guys there that have only been up with the team for a short time. How much can we expect the secondary to be able to batten it down in the second half?
Not much. I think that there's nothing's going to change in this matchup in the second half. The only thing you can hope to do is get a little lucky, like they were with the 2 turnovers. But they're going to have receivers open, and you got to hope that Murray, misses a couple, and maybe you get a couple strips, maybe you get some pressure. What this really is going to come down to on the defensive side is, can the Eagles' defensive line really win the battle here in the second half. Because if Murray has time to stand in the pocket, if Murray has time to survey the field, then you're as good as dead. Because once down the field, you just can't cover those guys. He's going to have receivers open. Your defensive line has to get so much pressure on him that he's not going to be able to find those guys, the ones that are open. So the Eagles' chances in the second half come down to this. They come down to, can the Eagles' defensive line really carry the fight to the Cardinals in the second half, overwhelm their offensive line, which they've kind of done to this point so far, and get a lot of pressure on Murray that it destroys the timing of the passing game and doesn't allow him to make the deep strikes down the field? And can your offense continue the drives that you've got now? I mean, twice inside the red zone you scored touchdowns. They haven't been very good on third down. I think they're only 2 for 7 on third down, but they made a lot of big plays. And they seem to be getting better by the series. They seem to have figured some things out. The Eagles have tried in this game way more than they have at any other time this year to play zone defense. When they got Slay this year, and they got Darius Slay, Jim Schwartz kind of converted from a zone defender to a man-to-man defender because that's Slay's preferred method of play. And they've been a largely man-to-man team. But in this game, with Slay not there, they're going back to playing way more zone. And I think I kind of understand what his philosophy is. Number one, if you're zone, it's easier for zone defenders to play a running quarterback because they're facing the line of scrimmage. You're not playing with your back to so Kyler Murray, they can contain him a little bit, and they're playing deep. They're trying not to give up the big play. They're trying to keep the ball in front of them and make the Cardinals kind of work their way down the field and hope that somewhere along the line they make a mistake and maybe turn the ball over. And that's what's allowed them. It's funny to say 26 points in the first half has kept you in the game, but it kind of has. But I think it's because they've gone to this kind of zone defense where they're just trying not to give up the super big play, and rather than be aggressive and take that chance.
Yeah, they outscored them 20-10 after that 16-0 deficit to start the game against the Cardinals. They're on a 4-game losing streak, the Eagles, to the Cardinals at Arizona. So this win would be significant, certainly keep playoff hopes alive, regardless of for those who want them in the playoffs or those who don't. That's what would happen with a win. But Kyler Murray, you've been talking about him. He throws for 265 yards, Ray, 2 touchdowns, and his rating is 152.1. My goodness, he's really off the rails here. Amazing. I don't know if they're going to be able to get to him, but that would seem to be job one in the second half.
Yeah, well, you said he's got, what, 265?
Yeah, 260. That's a game's worth for many quarterbacks.
If he just gets 5 more yards, he'll hit a significant milestone. That will make him the 5th quarterback all time to pass for 3,500 yards and 20 touchdowns in each of his first 2 seasons. That's only happened, he will only be the 5th quarterback to do that. And the other guys that have done it are Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Baker Mayfield, and Jameis Winston, and now Kyler Murray, and they all were number 1 draft picks.
That's amazing. I don't know, 5 yards. I don't know if he's going to get that, though. I wouldn't bet the house on it.
Mike, I think he got it already.
It's done, and we haven't even started the second half. All right. You thought the Eagles were going to have a hard time today with regard to the final score. They're trailing by 6. What about taking a point off the board before we let everybody go?
I've never been in favor of that.
Yeah, same here.
I
would have gone for 2 there to start it out, but at least, but to take the point off when you've already got 21.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the idea of going for 2 if that was your original thought. But Doug, get the penalty. We're halfway to the distance. Oh boy, let's go for it. No, I'm never in favor of taking points off the board. Just take them.
Yeah.
They're there, take them.
All right, we'll see what happens. Second half upon us when the clock hits 0. Barrett Brooks here in this space coming up after the third quarter. When the clock hits 0 on NBC Sports Philadelphia, we've got Eagles Postgame Live with Ray Dittinger, Barrett Brooks, and Seth Joyner joining us from the desert out in Arizona, maybe talking about would be a big Eagles victory. We'll send you back, and we'll see you post-game.